Welcome to our Special Forces World's Toughest Test, Season 4, Episode 6, Grit. And yes, this is several days late. So if you're thinking, wait a second, did they get the episode early? No, we got it super late. I was out of town all last weekend performing comedy, stand-up and improv.
Slurping about.
Slurping about. It's an inside joke. And so we didn't watch last week's episode. We watched it today, and then we'll watch it the next episode in a few days. Spoilers, because we have 3 people going home this episode.
And one of them's not Cody.
None of them are Cody. I don't think, if you're waiting to see Cody be humbled, it's not going to happen. Just accept it. He's in great shape. It seems to be the only thing that he's put any effort into in his entire life. Not financial stability for his family, not caring for his kids.
Speaking of, you can get a little satisfaction. He does get slapped right in the face by somebody.
By somebody, yeah. I assume that Murder Ball is like a thing they do every season. I thought it was crazy. I was like, I'm not going to blow out my knee or permanently injure my back for the rest of my life. My dad was a football player.
Unlike some people who did.
Yeah, all through college won awards and was in Sports Illustrated. And he busted up his ankle real bad playing flag football. He's just like, you know, these are dangerous games. Anyway. So we started off with Eric Decker talking about the Super Bowl. I was like, this is going to be his episode. Talking about how that was the highlight of his career. They talk about how they're going to start taking armbands. They're not even going to wait for you to give them or for medical disleads. You're going to start grabbing them. They're like, we need to get this. We're not supposed to have this many camera people. We need to cut back. I'm joking because when we did our reality show, one of the camera people, actually our DP, our director of photography, was a camera person on The Bachelor. And he was telling us how when the season started, they would have like 12 full-time photographers. And as the women or men or whoever went home, they would dismiss the photographers and the camera people until they had fewer of them. Because when you got down to like 1 guy and 4 girls, you didn't need to have 12 camera people. So anyway, so they were like, we have a schedule, so we're going to start pulling people. So right off the bat, they do a postman's walk.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means.
I can't believe so many of them did it, like, honestly.
What?
It looks so incredibly hard.
Oh, the thing across?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the postman's walk?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought they were going to walk up to the thing.
Oh, no.
But no, you're probably right. I got that wrong. Anyway, the walk up to the challenge, Chanel was at the back. Well, first they have them hold their backpacks over their head for 10 seconds, although I'm going to say it was a lot longer than 10 seconds based on their 3, 2, 1, which we are watching at 1.3 times speed, which you can watch us on our Patreon. And it was still like 3, 2, 1. And it was like we were watching it sped up, and it was still like that. So they're really struggling. They go on the course. Chanel's getting farther and farther and finally behind, and eventually the group crests a hill and she can't see him, and the drill sergeant's like, you lost your team, you're dead, I'm taking your armband. She didn't quit, but you can see the light just fade from her eyes. She was done. Then they do probably what was called the postman's walk, which was that thing where you have a rope over your head and a rope on your feet and you just slide over. They were talking about it mostly as an endurance challenge, like a strength challenge, where I was thinking that it was mostly like a dexterity challenge and a fear challenge because they're so high over. Because
I can't imagine holding a rope and being able to do that.
Well, my thing was just the balance issue of like, and sometimes I feel like some of these challenges are sort of like being like, and for today's challenge, you're gonna juggle, and you go, that's not even like a fear issue or a strength issue. That's like a thing you have to learn how to do before you can do it. And I felt like this one where they were sliding across the rope was a little bit of like, can you have us practice a few times on the ground? Like what next? Or like, we're going to do this, we're going to do a double somersault into a back handspring. Push. You'd be like, what? So anyway, Gia and Eric Decker failed. But when I say failed, I mean they made it all the way across, and there was like maybe 5 feet left when they ran out of time. Everybody had to do it.
So their whole team failed.
So their whole team failed. But I mean, like, I'm telling you right now, if I was on their team and I got it in the correct amount of time, like, because the thing is, I kind of also feel it's a little bit, well, Okay, it could be up to the draw because they had 10 minutes total for 3 people, or however much time they gave them for 4, because they're now down to 10 total, so they had 3, 3, and 4. It is a little bit of like if anybody else in the team had gone 10 seconds faster. So it's kind of a team thing, but I'm telling you, if I crossed, I'd be like, I know we failed as a team, but I actually won. But they were so close. But it was just kind of funny to me that they, you know, like if the only person who really did it fast was Christy Rampone. She was Pierce Rampone. She was the only one who I felt like really,
just
like really went fast, and I felt like everybody else, even when they passed, it was pretty close to their 1/3 of the time. Anyway, nobody cares about what I think about that. So Eric Decker, and then they call Eric Decker in. He talks about how he retired from the NFL before he got cut because for like a security reason. Then he was pretty good for 6 months after that, but then he really started having depression and anxiety. He's a stay-at-home dad, but then he needs to find something in himself. All of this is good. Not saying any of that was bad or inappropriate or wrong. They're right. Even stay-at-home parents need to make sure that they find value in that experience, and a lot of times it does mean having something that is still for them. The same way you can't just get all of your identity from a job or from being a stay-at-home parent. You need
or having 4 wives and not being able to please your wives.
I mean, just some random examples of, I don't even know who that would be a reference to. But that idea of, so they're not wrong. It just isn't quite the same as some of these other deeper conversations. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know anything about Jesse James, his wife. I don't know anything about her. But he describes her. They seem very fond of each other. They have 4 kids together, I assume. Talk about how she's the sugar mama. It seemed all very sweet and kind. And dangerous foreshadowing.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so he's going to get injured right after this.
Yeah, that's exactly what John said when they had him getting in the car. And you're like, yeah, you're going to tell him to go do something for himself and he's going to die.
He's going to push way too hard and have a lasting injury.
So, and then that's what happened. So they played Murder Ball, which to me seems like maybe kind of football, in the sense of there's a ball, you grab it and you run to one side.
In the mud. With no padding. All you get
they
are
do have
teeth.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm like...
mouth guards.
And they seem to be punching and kicking each other.
Oh, yes.
I wouldn't do it just because I don't want to screw up my knees for the rest of my life. Or my back. Or my neck.
I like my eyes to see and my nose where it's at.
So we see Christy seem to do really well. She mostly seemed to be really good at picking up the ball and running, which is a big part of the game. They kind of put the men, then the women, then everyone. The sounds that they included sounded like people's spines.
Sound like bones are just exploding.
We hear a little bit. At one random moment, we hear Christy say that she's divorced. She stayed longer than she should have, and it's been really bad. Just like a random snippet, so we kind of knew what was happening next. So they call her in. Okay, no, I'm just making sure I got the order right. So they call her in. They talk to her. And she talked about how she did 19 years of soccer. She had 2 daughters that went with her everywhere, and the husband was just kind of at home doing his own thing. And then after she retired, it didn't get any better. And she made it sound like the divorce was still ongoing. She did say it's been stretched out. I Googled online, and it said that she was married until 2017. So I don't know whether that's literally the divorce has been going on 8 years, or whether that's the divorce is still hard but is already over, or if the divorce was still ongoing. And I didn't Google to find out more because I don't need to. What I see in the show is sufficient for my curiosity. So they talk about how they didn't really notice her, which I agree. I've been looking for more of her and Sean Johnson because I'm really interested in female athletes. Or athletes in general, but we don't get to see as much about female athletes, so I'm always hungry for more information. It was a little creepy. And so I also agree that I haven't seen much of her until now. So anyway, we cut back. At the end of Murder Ball, they said all 3 NFL athletes, Randall Cobb, Eric Decker, and Andrew East, are all hurt. They're all concerned they broke their nose.
Shocking. Shocking, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they were out there and it sort of looked like these large creatures and all these little ants around them because they're so much bigger. And just more, it's just really clear they're more capable on the field than the rest, especially like compared to like Gia Giudice or how short Sean Johnson is. She's an incredible athlete, but not as big as some of these football players. Yeah. Anyway, so they all get off the thing, they all explain, and then we see Eric Decker sort of like, my back is spasming, which I'm sure it is. He's like his wife's trying to like rub his back, all of that. They call him in to the doctor. The doctor's kind of checking him out. He's like, I don't feel comfortable letting you continue. We're going to pull you. So he goes back. It was odd because he like told his wife he was leaving and she's like, are you joking? And I'm like, this is very much in line with the expectations of the show and the fact that he's hurt. So then she's like, well, if you're leaving, I'm leaving. We're in this together, baby. And everyone, and they leave. And it kind of felt like, because so far we haven't seen them having goodbye scenes with anyone, it did kind of feel like they were like, yeah, I know, we need one more person to leave. Why don't you go talk to your wife and see if she wants to go too? We'll fly you both straight home, otherwise you're going to sit in an airplane for 2 days, or at the airport for 2 days. It felt a little bit like they were encouraging them to go. So that means we have 3 more out, which means we are now down to, I don't know. I'll do
the rest of them.
The rest
down
of them.
to the rest of them.
8. We now have 8.
I don't.
Because there was, anyway. I'm not going to do the counting right now. I will update the image for next week. I think we're getting closer to the end. There you go. Bye.